December 2024, Nickelodeon aired a SpongeBob episode which shows a military official calling alien evidence a hoax. UFO believers are mocked, aliens show up, and nobody believes the only eyewitness. 76 days later, President Trump ordered the Pentagon to release every classified UFO file. As of today, not one page has been released. The episode is called Unidentified Flailing Octopus from Season 15, which aired on December 5th, 2024. That very same week, thousands of people across New Jersey reported mysterious objects flying near military bases. The government told them it was nothing. In the episode, a military official says there's a 99.99999% chance the alien evidence reported by the eyewitness is a hoax. In reality, the Pentagon has investigated over 2,000 UFO cases and still won't release any files. The cartoon aired the playbook 3 months before the real world started running it. That's not a coincidence, that's a timeline. So settle down and let me begin to break this down for you. The episode opens with the Bikini Bottom news report. Perch Perkins, the show's resident news anchor, presents new evidence that UFOs have been secretly visiting Bikini Bottom for years. Crop circles, shadow footage, the works. He brings on a military official, General Grouper, for comment. And General Grouper says exactly what military officials have said about UFOs for 70 years. He says there's a 99.99999% chance that it's all a hoax. But then Perch Perkins does something subtle. He takes that number and flips it on its backside. There you have it, he says. Conclusive proof that there's a 0.0001% chance. SpongeBob and Patrick, watching from the floor, take that tiny sliver of possibility and they run with it. They put on their tinfoil hats, grab a couple of flashlights, and set off hunting for alien life. Now, a quick side note on the title. Unidentified Flailing Octopus is a UFO pun, and the octopus in question is Squidward, who, despite his name, is definitely an octopus. SpongeBob's creator, Steven Hillenburg, has confirmed it. So the title is telling you up front, the unidentified thing everyone is looking for is right in front of them, and they don't recognize it. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, SpongeBob and Patrick search the neighborhood. They shine flashlights through Squidward's window. They trample his flower garden into a crop circle. Squidward, furious, yells from his window, "Space aliens and UFOs do not exist! Go to sleep!" Because he's the authority figure, the one who knows better, and he's absolutely certain. So certain, in fact, that he decides to teach them both a lesson. So he builds a fake UFO out of a fishing pole and string, puts on an alien mask, plays a theremin, which is an electronical musical instrument controlled without physical contact, for atmosphere, and SpongeBob and Patrick lose their minds. First contact! Then Squidward reveals himself, proves it was all a hoax, and convinces them both to give up. Aliens aren't real. Case closed. And then, the second that SpongeBob and Patrick walk away, an actual UFO descends on Squidward's house. Real aliens, creatures who want to collect Squidward's house as an artifact, and they view Squidward as a pest to be exterminated. They spray him with bug spray.
Who's there?
And beam his entire house up into the mothership. And here's the part that makes this more than a cartoon joke. When Squidward is captured and strapped to a table for probing, it turns out the probe is a therapy session. An alien puts on reading glasses, pulls out a fountain pen, and says, "In this probe, I will be asking you embarrassing questions about your childhood." Squidward starts talking, and he does not stop. The French narrator reads a time card. Many repressed memories later. Even after the time skip, Squidward has only reached age 3. The aliens are so exhausted by his therapy session that they dump him and his house back on Conch Street just to get rid of him. Even in a cartoon, the probe isn't what you expected. It's just questions. Endless questions that go nowhere. Does that sound like any congressional hearing you've seen? And here's the ending that ties the whole thing together. Squidward, the former skeptic, runs to SpongeBob and Patrick screaming that aliens are real. He has first-hand evidence. He was abducted and probed. And SpongeBob and Patrick look at him and say,
"No, they're not. You told us yourself."
Patrick shuts him in his own mailbox. The person who didn't believe the original story became the witness. The eyewitnesses who believed became the deniers, and nobody ended up with the truth. Let me show you all what was happening in the real world when this episode aired. We go back to December 5th, 2024, the same week that the Unidentified Flailing Octopus premieres. Thousands of people across New Jersey report mysterious drone-like objects flying near military installations. Night after night, and videos of these occurrences everywhere. The government's response? Almost identical to General Grouper's. The FAA says most of the sightings are authorized drones or misidentified aircraft. Officials urge calm, and TSA documents later revealed that planes approaching a local airport were being mistaken for hovering drones. A viral TikTok video of a drone spraying gray mist was confirmed to be a Beechcraft Baron 58 in turbulence. The public is panicked and the government is dismissing. Exactly like the episode. In the same week, we have the same playbook. Then, a year and 2 months later, things start to get strange. Barack Obama says they're real on a podcast. It goes viral instantly, with millions of views overnight. He takes it back within days, stating he meant the statistical probability of other life in the universe and not personal evidence. But the damage is done. President Trump then fires off a Truth Social post directing the Pentagon to release all classified UFO files, citing tremendous interest, and tells reporters on Air Force One, "I don't know if they're real or not." A president and a former president both pointing at the sky in the same week. That was February 19th, 2026. We're now in April, and not a single file has yet been released. The Pentagon says it's working on it. The Director of National Intelligence says files will soon be declassified. Defense Secretary Hexas says he doesn't want to oversell how much time it will take. Former AARO Director Sean Kirkpatrick, the man who actually ran the government's UFO investigation office, called the whole thing a distraction and predicted unsatisfied people. Meanwhile, AARO, the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, has investigated over 2,000 cases, and their official finding? There is no empirical evidence of extraterrestrial technology. But buried in their reports are 21 cases classified as true anomalies that they couldn't explain, including 3 incidents where military pilots reported being shadowed by unidentified objects. And in congressional hearings, intelligence community whistleblower David Grush testified under oath that the government is in possession of non-human biologics from crash sites. The Pentagon denied it, and nobody has produced physical evidence either way. And here's the detail that should make the hair on your neck stand up. A Wall Street Journal investigation from June 2025 revealed that the Pentagon deliberately planted UFO myths for decades to cover up classified weapons programs. There was a fake program called Yankee Blue, where new Air Force officers were shown staged UFO photos, sworn to secrecy, and told they'd entered a top-secret alien reverse engineering program. It was a hazing ritual which continued until 2023, when the Secretary of Defense ordered it to be stopped. The government wasn't just denying UFOs, it was manufacturing the conspiracy to hide something else entirely. So, who's the General Grouper in this story? Who's Squidward? And who's still wearing the tinfoil hat? Perch Perkins presents evidence. The military says 99.99999% hoax. The believers are mocked. The skeptic builds a fake UFO to prove they're wrong. And then a real one shows up and nobody believes the only witness, who was the skeptic. That's not a cartoon. That's the last 80 years of UFO history compressed into 11 minutes. The government denied, mocked, and fabricated for decades. Then whistleblowers testified under oath. Then 2 presidents pointed at the sky within the same week. And as of today, the files are still classified, the true anomalies are still unexplained, and the people asking questions are still being called the tinfoil hat crowd. But the episode does something the real world hasn't done yet. It shows you the ending. The aliens were real, the skeptic was wrong, and the believer's right. And the cruelest twist wasn't the cover-up. It was that when the truth finally came out, nobody wanted to hear it, because the person delivering it had already lost his credibility by denying it in the first place. That's the trap. Deny long enough, and when you finally admit the truth, you've already taught everyone not to believe you. Squidward spent the whole episode telling SpongeBob and Patrick that aliens didn't exist. So, when he finally had proof, they used his own words against him. Patrick literally shut him in a mailbox, and that's not even the darkest part. The system doesn't just hide the truth, it poisons the well so thoroughly that when the truth arrives, it has nowhere to land. And right now, in March 2026, we're watching that exact scene play out in real time. The government denied for decades. 2 presidents pointed at the sky, and the files are still closed. Half the country believes something is up there. The other half thinks they're wearing tinfoil hats. SpongeBob showed us the ending. The question is whether reality has the nerve to air it. Right now, we're all Squidward, stuck in the mailbox, shouting that we saw something, and the UFO-shaped iris is closing. Tell me I'm wrong. Drop a comment. If you think the files are coming, or if you think this is the biggest misdirect in history, I want to hear it. Hit like, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you all in the next one.